on this is that I think they planned this beforehand. I think they said going into it, let's ambush this guy. Let's yell at him. Let's humiliate him. Let's embarrass him. And one of the many reasons they would do such a thing is because, I don't know if you saw, but with the whole fake Epstein files release fiasco, they're kind of in hot water now. Even many MAGA supporters and MAGA media folks have turned on the Trump administration over the fact that they released fake Epstein files. Gee, I wonder why. Basically what they did is took a list which came out in Gawker about a decade ago, right? Epstein's black book or address book or whatever you want to call it. That was released like a decade ago. They took that, redacted more parts of it, and then released it and pretended like they were giving everybody the straight dope on Epstein, like they were giving everybody the real truth on Epstein, and everybody's onto it. Guys, the reason why they're not releasing the Epstein files, we've been through this a million times. Donald Trump was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for a decade. That's according to Jeffrey Epstein, right out of his own mouth. We have him on audio tape talking about it. There's tremendous dirt on Trump. Also, there's tremendous evidence that Epstein was Mossad, right? So are they gonna release that? Are they gonna release the information pointing that out, that actually this is Israel and they've been spying on American politicians and powerful people for all this time and they got a lot of dirt on us, et cetera, et cetera? Of course they're not gonna release that. Of course he's not gonna release files that implicate him. So they tried to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. It didn't work. And now here we are the next day, and you have all this going on, which appears to be incredibly planned.
Strong except that there are disagreements. And let's.
All right, I'm losing it because here's JD Vance is chastising him and saying, why don't you say thank you? Just say thank you. What's the matter with you? You remember what was in the news like a week or two ago that we covered on this show? The United States sent terms to Ukraine and said, hey, you need to do this or we're not supporting you anymore. What were the terms? You need to give us 50% of all of your natural resources from now until forever, or we're not going to help you anymore. Guys, that is economic colonization. That's what it is. Economic colonization. This is old school 1800 style shit. Hey, give us 50% of everything from now until forever is incredibly ruthless and exploitative. And you've put them in an impossible position because, of course, they don't want to agree to give away 50% of their shit from now until forever, stuff that's just going to help U.S. billionaires. But it's either do that or the other warmonger imperialist who's trying to illegally take over Ukraine, Vladimir Putin, or he might end up winning. So he's stuck between two imperial powers. And here's J.D. Vance going, why don't you say thank you? Just say thank you that we're trying to rob you blind, that we're trying to make you a colony, that we're trying to make you a vassal state. Just say thank you.
Everyone. So I'm sure you've already seen President Zelensky get completely ambushed and supremely embarrassed by these two bigoted bullies, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. I'm also seeing people feeling bad for Zelensky right now. But I want you all to remember one thing. Zelensky is a Zionist of the highest order. When Russia was invading Ukraine, where did Zelensky bitch and cry to first for support, aside from the United States? Yup, he groveled to the place that knows about invading and stealing a country the best, the terrorist non-state of Israel. Let me repeat, Zelensky of Ukraine, who was complaining about being invaded, went to a country that is known to be one of the world's most egregious invaders and land thieves in the history of mankind, aside from Britain and America, to ask for help to stop their country from being invaded. Do you understand this level of sick hypocrisy? I understand it. Why? Did you know that a large majority of the people that displaced Palestinians in the Nakba of 1948 were Ukrainian Jewish colonists? No, really. Read your history. You could start right here. Did you know that while Ukraine was getting invaded by Russia as early as January of 2022, Israel began planning to transfer Ukrainian Jews to become colonists in the land of the Palestinians? Israel's Ministry of Aliyah and Immigrant Absorption proclaimed, "We call on the Jews of Ukraine to immigrate to Israel, your home." Did you know that while Russia was invading Ukraine, President Zelensky went to the Israeli Knesset to beg for help while citing Ukrainian Jewish colonist Golda Mabovich, aka Golda Meir, Israel's former prime minister? The same Golda Meir who denied the Palestinian people ever existed? Zelensky even had the audacity to say to the Knesset that Ukraine finds itself today in the same situation as Israel. Namely, that both countries seem to have horrible neighbors who want to see us dead. Oh, and then there's the case that Ukrainians, not all, but a large majority, stand with Israel. Oh, and then there's the case that the Ukrainian soldiers came to fight alongside the least moral baby-killing rapist terrorists called the IOF. So yes, I saw this most pathetic display of foreign affairs, which was just a schoolyard bully show, where this little shrimp gets devoured by two not-so-great whites. So do I give a shit? No. Zelensky can go eat zift. Here's how I really wanted this interview.